So in today's video, talking about Polyphia, a band from Texas. They are a progressive metal band. Not really metal, I guess progressive band. It's just like virtuoso style music. It's kind of hard to put them into a category. The album is called Remember That You Will Die, released on October 20th, 2022. Album number 4 in their discography. So quick history of this band. So this band formed making YouTube videos. They made these classical guitar covers. Then they released an EP called Inspire. Then they released an album called Muse. And those two were more progressive metal, I guess you can call them. A lot of people even call them like gent, like that type of music. But it was actually less heavy and more melody based than like the other albums. So the second studio album is called Renaissance. Again, less metal, more prog and more that math rock. And then they mixed elements of EDM, funk, and hip hop. This is a band that kind of keep evolving their sound. And then they released another EP called Most Hated. Then they released another LP called New Levels, New Devils, and that one was a lot more hip hop and EDM. Now this album is very different. It's something I was not accustomed to. One thing I noticed is that the songs basically covered lots of genres. They go from basically instrumental, jazz to pop to hip hop, and then rock and metal. That's kind of how the album is formed. So it's a 40-minute album. There's 12 songs. They're not very long. The songs are maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So, it's not a long album. Let me just go through it, just so you can get an idea of what this album is all about. First track, Genesis, featuring Brasstracks. They're a hip hop duo. You got some jazzy guitar riffs, clean echo sound. You got some horns. It's instrumental, like a jazzy instrumental. If you like that type of music, you like this. Electric guitar solo in there. And this is just virtuoso instrumental music. Track 2, Playing God, starts with a clean acoustic classical guitar. Has this hip hop beat, lots of complex musical arrangements. It's a mid-paced song. And then there's one section just isolated guitar, and that's cool. So just a lot of jazz into the mix, and this is another instrumental. Then the Audacity featuring Anomalie, who is a keyboardist and producer from Montreal. This is jazz again, but it's more upbeat jazz. You got complex arrangements, progressive rock compositions, a faster drum beat, tempo changes, and odd time signatures. Then you got Reverie, another one. It's more jazzy sound, complex arrangements, electric guitar solo. They're kind of moving into the rock sound now. And so that's pretty cool. And then the fifth song is called ABC. This one has Sophia Black. She's this pop and R&B singer. This is the first song with vocals. It's an R&B pop song. I actually like this one. This is kind of a guilty pleasure type of song because I did listen to a lot of this music in the early 2000s. They mix pop with those complex arrangements and sounds. And this singer, she's pretty good. Young girl. She sings very fast. She sings in multiple languages. So, again, pretty cool. And you got some jazz and you got some rock in it. So then you got Memento Mori featuring Killstation. So this is where the hip hop part of the album starts to come in. So this one, it's hip hop with jazz, modern hip hop. If you like that, there's a little bit of heavy rock in it as well. Then this is track 7, Fuck Around and Find Out, featuring Snot, who's a rapper. Again, it's kind of a continuation of the last song. It's modern rap with jazz. But they kind of end it with a quieter instrumental, and that kind of it almost goes into the third song called All Falls Apart. It's a very short song, 1 minute 20 seconds long, and it sounds like they're playing guitar, but they had these horn types of effects or something like that. In Neurotica, it's instrumental. Again, there's guitar playing, lots of those harmonics, modern pop sound effects. You got some electric guitar playing, the distorted rock song and that, and it's very fast and technical guitar playing. And then track 10, Chimera featuring Lil West. Still, we got a rapper here. It's acoustic classical Spanish guitar in the beginning. Then they start playing with some distorted guitar. So at this point in the album, you start to get the rock part of the album, or the rock and metal. And this is where they play a little bit more of like, you got some heavy metal guitar solo, elements of like space rock, some psychedelic rock, trip hop, and then the song ends with a short rap section, brief interlude, guitar solo, going into track 11, Bloodbath featuring Chino Moreno from the Deftones. So if you're a fan of pretty much the stuff on my channel, this might be the one song you might gravitate to. Song is, it starts slow, and you got Chino Moreno, he starts to sing. Now the song doesn't sound like a Deftones song. I guess they could do something like this. You know, Deftones, they do lots of different stuff, but Chino Moreno is singing in his style. You know, he's not doing anything different. You got some distorted guitar riffs, so it's a little more alternative rock. You got some heavy beats, distorted vocals, layered over that like jazz playing. So it goes back and forth between like those heavy solos and the alternative rock sound, and the guitar solo is very distorted and heavy, and the song ends with some very heavy metal riffs going into almost thrash. It's very heavy. Final song, Ego Death featuring Steve Vai. The song has some clean guitar playing, some thick and heavy distorted bass sounds, then some complex jazz guitar playing, then some distorted heavy metal playing. And if you've listened to Steve Vai albums, you know, this is kind of like what you get. Drumming is very good. They play like a lot of these complex like polyrhythms, so that was pretty cool. Get some more distorted guitar playing towards the second half of the song. Then the song ends, some atmospheric jazz playing, and that's all. So my final thoughts on this album was that it was something that's very different for me. Mixes lots of styles. So in the beginning, they start with jazz, then you got the pop, then the hip hop, and then the more alternative rock and metal. So they structured the album in that way so they can kind of, I guess, cater to the people that, if you're looking for a particular style. But it was a very different experience for me. I know there's a big buzz about this band, but anyway, I think if you like virtuoso music, like that type of thing, if you like progressive rock or just those type of bands where the members are like super talented and have lots of experience playing complex stuff, like this is the band for you. It's a band that you probably got to like listen to them a lot. I tried to give it like 3 or 4 listens before I did this review. That's why I waited a couple days to get it out, and it's actually pretty good. So my final score, 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. More stuff coming up, more metal, more reviews, and see you in the next one.